Welcome back to Be Productive. Don't you just love technology? I mean, without technology, we wouldn't be able to do the shows that are bringing you so much value. What we know is technology, it can be our best friend. In many ways, all the systems that are there, it helps us to level up so that we can truly be more purposeful and productive in delivering our value and services. But we also have to understand that not all technology is created the same, and not all technology is going to help us achieve higher levels of profit and productivity. So, to talk about some of the things that we need to be aware of in leveraging our technology is my good friend, Rob Tritt. So, Rob, welcome to the show.
Hey, Claire, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You bet. I love having you here. You are a growth strategist coach. So you work with companies and you work with their executive teams to really make sure that they're making these high level decisions to, again, up their level of productivity and oftentimes the profitability that follows through that. So I know that you work with them and helping them make key quality decisions on the technology systems that they are using. So I want to talk a little bit about this. How can companies and leaders really leverage the technology that is out there so that they can truly set themselves up to gain higher levels of both profitability and productivity?
Well, I think where most companies, at least in my experience, struggle, where technology can really help them, is in the areas of project execution and communications. Um, Anything that helps to uh, uh, make the process procedures more easier to follow, right?
Mhm.
Is a great thing to have. Um, the um, I'm trying to figure out the best way to phrase these. Um, so the thing is that you have to understand what the project is going to entail. What are the requirements? And then is there a specific piece of software that is best fit for that project? Or does the company in itself need a specific tool that generally addresses everything that it does?
Right.
So understanding whether we need a specific piece of project or a general piece for the entire company, that's important. But like I
Right.
said, the most important areas I think that most companies could really use technology to help them is in process procedures, especially in the areas of project execution and communications.
Yeah, definitely. But you hit on something really key, this idea that you need to understand sort of the outcome first. You need to
Mhm.
understand the project first, because I know even I have done this, as a consultant, speaker, coach. Someone says, "Oh, this is the best database," or "This is what you need." And I go out there and I buy it, but then I find out it doesn't really work for me.
Right.
Whereas if I had someone like you sitting down and asking me the questions, going through a consultation with me, asking me the right questions of how do I want to use this? What are the key end results that I'm looking for? You could have saved me so much time, headaches, and a lot of money by going out there and trying all these things unsuccessfully to get to the end result. And that's kind of what I'm hearing you say is, before you jump into the technology, do a little bit of due diligence with an expert like yourself, a consultant who's going to ask you the right questions and direct you in the right way to get the ones, because the technology that you're using, like you said, it's to help you streamline. But there are thousands of different programs out there that can streamline. The key is, what do you really need it to streamline you with first? And then go find those projects.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so really key. Now, I also know with technology, the blessing and the curse of technology is it's changing every day and there's new ones popping up. So, how can small business owners and executives sort of learn about the newest ones that are going to have the biggest potential for them, but also not get lost in all the bells and whistles and get off track with it? Because we can also lose productivity by always, having that squirrel syndrome where it's, oh, the bright new shiny object.
Yeah. Obviously, technology is a lot of it's going to be very industry specific.
Hmm.
So, one company will need one specific type of technology, another type will need another type of technologies. So again, going back to when I say be plugged in, being plugged into the industry, and what technologies are being used to make to make advances within that industry.
Right.
So keep an eye on those kind of technologies is the most important thing,
Mhm.
and those are very specific to the industry. Like I said, there are a lot of different technologies that are really coming out. AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, those are big ones that have come out in the last couple of years that are really changing things. But there's a lot of other ones that are industry specific as well. There's biotechnology, there's nanotechnology, there's quantum computing, there's electric vehicles, there's 5G. There's so many different types of technologies, and these all are going to be changing specific industries.
Yeah.
So we need to keep plugged into our industry and
Yeah.
and read and listen and understand how the technology is going to affect the products and services that we offer, so that those products and services keep up with demand and technology, so they don't become technologically obsolete.
Right. And, this kind of leads me into another question to
Mhm.
just build upon what you just said is with everything changing, you mentioned again, reading, going to conferences, learning,
Yeah.
are those the only way? Are there other ways that executives can sort of stay ahead and keep themselves in front of the ever changing trends?
Well, obviously there's Google, and I can read white papers, can do peer-to-peer groups, talk with friends within the industry. Just going out and talking to people. Uh, so those are very simple ways. But like you mentioned, conferences, that's the purpose of conferences. So that people in the industry can all get together and talk about things within that industry.
Right.
So and drink a lot, whatever. So, but but yeah, there are lots of ways to each industry I'm sure has their own methods for being plugged in. And
Hmm.
so whatever those methods are, but obviously internets and friends, those are general purpose things that anybody can do.
Right.
Regardless.
I always find that for me, being a part of sort of like a mastermind group has been very
Masterminds,
beneficial
yes.
to me because sometimes, going to a conference, there's the expense, there's the time away, even though those are fantastic. And again, as a speaker, I need my conferences, but, having a mastermind group of your peers, oftentimes we share them. And that's where I learn about so many of the cutting edge technology that I need
Mhm.
is, from those other people that are, kind of doing the same things that I'm doing. So I think those can be powerful. I want to get your take on something. The idea of technology and relationships, because I'm a firm believer, and I know that you are too, in that human beings are social animals and we need the relationships.
Mhm.
For a long time, I was avoidant of a lot of technology because I was worried that it would take me away from relationships. But what I have found is that the technology has streamlined my processes to be able to free me up. So I actually have more time to build the relationships. Have you found that with a lot of the companies that you're working with, that it's allowing the leaders to build stronger relationships because all the back end work is kind of set up with the processes?
That's an interesting question. I'm gonna say yes and no. I think it depends.
Hmm.
Obviously being a process and procedure kind of person, I think if someone has designed their process and procedures well enough
Hmm.
that they can hand off a lot of that stuff to other people, and they trust their team to do the work, then absolutely the technology um, will in fact allow them to become more to have more relationship interactions kind of stuff.
Yeah.
However, if they've not designed those process procedures, then they're going to end up spending more time
Hmm.
with the technology because it's not being done efficiently to begin with. So,
But
uh,
that's where you come in. You're
well,
able to
exactly.
come in, and that's what you coach them through is making sure that again their processes are dialed in. So I would imagine that if somebody watching this is feeling like their processes are not dialed in, or maybe they're getting away from the time to build the relationships, this is a perfect time to have a consultation with you because you might be able to help them tighten up those processes.
Absolutely, yeah, and having a great tool to document the process procedures, then we can hand off things and we
Mhm.
can just let our team do our thing while we
Yeah.
go out and grow the business.
Absolutely. So speaking of consultations, I know that you always are open to talking with people. So if somebody does want to have a consultation and maybe learn more about how you can help them level up their profitability and productivity, where's the best place for people to find you?
Well, I'm always on LinkedIn, so you can always shoot me a message on that, at Rob Tritt. You can also call me at 770-256-8216. My website is profitpartnergroup.com, and
Mhm.
my email address is rob@profitpartnergroup.com.
Beautiful. Well, Rob, the biggest thing that I took away today is the idea of, again, don't just jump into the technology, do your due diligence first. And for those of you that are watching, I really want to hit on that because it is so easy to just want the magic pill. You've got to do your due diligence. So, sitting down with a professional like Rob and his team, being able to, again, vet what it is that you're really looking to achieve, because at the end of the day, we aren't going to be able to build the profit if we don't have the partnerships to help us make sure that we're making the right decisions. So stay tuned because we're going to be coming right back at you with even more Be Productive.